Aha! Hello. Hello. Welcome to Wednesday. It's Feel Good Wednesday, isn't it? It's kind of the Wednesday. We do this every Wednesday. I start by saying we're gonna, talk about stuff that makes you feel good and chill and happy. And then within about 5 minutes, I'm moaning about something. I can't help it. I'm old. Great to see you, Neil and Kristen. Thank you for popping in, guys. Let me see. But we do have the old PC game drawer running again. Miss Phoenix, how are you, Sam? Lovely to see you. She was great. Did you see her on Rock Show last night, making her Rock Show band debut. Excellent. It was a great little show as well. Boys, we had a chuckle. You've got to see it, actually. I need to do some clips or some shorts or whatever else it is that them professional folk do, because there were some funny moments. Sam thinks things got weird. I thought they kind of stuck to playbook, actually. I sort of felt very much like the show should do. Adam, how are you, my friend? Great to see you, brother Adam. There was actually a brother Adam, slight aside, at Buckfastleigh Abbey, which is kind of in the foothills of Dartmoor in Devon, and they make the world famous Buckfast Abbey wine, which is incredibly alcoholic and a must drink on many a Scottish person's pub crawl. But there was a brother Adam there. He was actually a world expert in beekeeping. Now, I forget the term, something to do with apiaries or something. But anyway, yeah, he was world famous on how to look after bees, wrote several books, and had a documentary or two made on him as well. So there you go, brother Adam. It's been a long time since I've been here this early, says Christian. Oh, it's lovely to have you here. Very lovely to have you here, and I'm glad you managed to get in early, because it is the Feel Good Wednesday show where we feel good. You know what I mean? Feel good, diddle. So what have I been up to today? What has it made me feel happy? Well, a couple of things have made me feel happy today so far, and I want to hear yours as well, guys, in the chat. First was the doorbell rang. Raymond! Hello, dude. The doorbell rang. Dorrigan's here as well, is he? Oh, he is. Look, what's up? I missed you. Sorry, my friend. The doorbell rang at about 11 a.m. this morning, and I answered. And there was an elderly couple there, all dressed up in tie and shirt and everything. And they were from the Jehovah's Witness. And it was actually a lovely chat. I never turn people away from my door. Ultimately, they have their convictions and their faith. They're not going to dissuade or persuade me in any particular direction. But I love just talking to people, getting their vibe, what turns them on, what is it particularly that they're looking to share. Plus, I've known so many people of so many different religious denominations. It must be their day then, Neil. It must be the let's get out and convert day for the JWs. But I love talking to people of any religion or faith, because ultimately they all derive pretty much from the same religion. Certainly Judaism, Christianity, Catholicism and Islam, all from the same original root religion. I mean, other things like Buddhism and Sikhism and Hinduism and so on, they're all kind of different. But they all kind of come from the same book. And, ultimately they all spread love and goodness and stuff. And some of it's wrapped up in things that it really shouldn't be. But anyway, I had a good chat with them for about half an hour. Actually, it was more like me doing a show on the doorstep. They were just nodding as I was espousing my various thoughts on the world and religion and goodness and how to be nice to people and the state of things. And they were like, yeah. And they read me a couple of quotes from the Bible, which were, interesting. Anyway, they gave me their magazine. I do wish I think it needs to go back to the designers because it's looking a bit 1950s. You know, it's that old style kind of looking a bit old illustrations, and the photos are all a bit dodgy. I think they need to sharpen up their act. I did inform them. I did say, you guys, it's lovely that you have enough faith to knock on doors, and I'm sure out of the 400 doors you knock on in a week, you convert 2 people. But you should be on social media. You should be on Twitter. There's a whole bunch of nasty folk on there. You should be doing your work out in the social media. Oh, yes. He was very posh. Yes, we're not on social media. So, well, no, that's where you need to be. Mass conversion. That's where you need to be, doing your thing. Yeah, I think I may have convinced him. He may have been off to sign up on Threads. He did say he was going to come back and see what I thought of the magazine. So I thought I'd better read it, really, which I duly did. Very interesting. Anyway, that was my little 11 a.m.s. And then this afternoon, I went for a little walk along the seaside with my youngest. We took an hour out and enjoyed some sun just before the clouds opened and it got a bit rainy. That was nice. That was lovely. Looking out across the coast, and I was wondering, what would it look like if you could kind of like get one of those huge shark vacuum cleaners and suck all the water out. I just wondering if under the sea in front of me there was like the hills around, but down in the valley. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Sort of, suddenly see all of these kind of drops and stuff and what have yous. But anyway, I'd never find out, and I wasn't about to go diving. What I have noticed where I won't say where I went, but I used to go there when we were kids, and when the tide came in, it was still quite a distance from the edge of the shore. And now, with tidal erosion and increasing height in water levels and stuff, it comes right up to the edge. Real shame. Dorrigan watched your latest spicy video whilst I was sipping a mug of Yorkshire tea and ranting about the workplace. When you say his latest spicy video, I mean, how spicy in terms of the chili meter are we talking? I mean, is it racy spicy, or is it just warm or tepid, or is he going for it full-blown hairdryer? Because he does do that from time to time, he gets a little bee in his bonnet. I didn't know he had an off. I should invite them to kill the devil with me in Diablo, says Adam. Yeah, I know. I didn't want to. There was a funny story yesterday. I think it was in Australia, but somebody had complained that there was a poster, I'm guessing it was on a bus stop, and it was something like Melbourne's going to hell or something. So it was Melbourne, Australia, and then it was Diablo 4, and somebody complained that it was they found it hideous and hugely offensive to their religion, and they put in quite an extensive complaint. Apparently, I kind of get that. It's going to be, isn't it? I mean, it wasn't that many years ago that The Life of Brian, the Monty Python film, which is a parody and has absolutely nothing to do with JC. JC doesn't even, I don't even think JC features in the movie. It's about some guy who gets, wrongly, what's the word? I'll never do this ever. They believe he's JC, but he isn't. And he ends up on the cross, poor fella. And I understand how, certain people of a devout faith may feel that that's condescending, in the same way that some very strict Islamic people felt that Salman Rushdie's book defiled their beliefs. But I don't think either intended to, and I certainly don't think Life of Brian did. If anything, it's more about piety and saying, "Come on, get over yourself," isn't it? I don't think it's kind of old school culture cancel or anything like that. I just think they were like, "Come on, guys, this is Victorian. We've moved on from this. We need to be more inclusive. We need to accept that some people aren't devoutly religious, and that's not an issue. If you have a faith, follow your faith." Share it with the people that you know and love that have a faith, and be happy that you discovered or have a strong belief. But it doesn't mean you have to be upset by somebody who doesn't feel the same way. Just the same as some people believe in, I know it's kind of different, but we've all got different beliefs, political beliefs, sports teams, bands, YouTubers, we all have our own personal... and I think the thing with religion is that if you are devoutly religious, you do tend to feel that yours is the only one true religion. And of course, as I've said, the four key religions in the world all emanate from the same place. They just happen to go off in different directions. But ultimately, they sort of espouse the same beliefs. And I think ultimately the key thing is whether you're a card-carrying Jew. I mean, my grandparents were Jewish. I'm christened in the Church of England. But whether or not you are a card-carrying Christian or a Catholic, it doesn't matter. The key thing is following the basic tenets of respect and compassion and love, and caring for other people. And I think the sad thing today is there are people who claim to be of a faith and yet seem to be absolutely dripping in hatred, for people's sexuality, for their colour, for their other faiths. And that's nothing to do with that. That is completely against the lessons of that particular faith, because all faiths have respect and compassion, and so on as the basis. So I think, though, that's the shame of it all. But there you go. It's Good News Wednesday. I told you that's how it goes. Had a lovely conversation with two Jehovah's Witnesses about 6 months back. They weren't on board with my empathy for Lucifer getting kicked out of home by his dad. Do you know, I was thinking about this earlier. And obviously, certainly the Christian faith believes that, there was the angel booted out of heaven and became the devil. But truth is, I think if the devil exists, it's not an individual, is it? It's an ideology. It's a way of thinking. It's pandering to our animal sides, our animal self. And until we all evolve en masse to have the basic respect for other people, then I think we're always going to be animals. Because at the end of the day, what is it? I mean, they're metaphors, aren't they? That, the stories, many of the stories in the Bible, they're examples. Let me explain, says whoever's teaching. Let me explain what I'm trying to get across with a story. Like the Good Samaritan. So I'm going to tell you a story. That doesn't mean that story ever happened. What I don't want you to do is get caught up in the fact that it historically happened. I want you to take on board the message of the story. And I think what's happened wrongly is that a lot of the stories have been taken on board as fact. And that's not what it is. It's basically a guidebook to living. And you have to kind of strip away a lot of the stuff that's in there and just go for the basic stuff. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Which I believe is in Matthew, if I'm going to be literal about my knowledge of the Bible. And that's the tenet that I try to live to. I think that's it for me. I mean, if I was someone that likes to be beaten up on a weekend, then maybe beating other people up because I like having it done is taking it a little literal. But Eddie, how are you, my friend? Great to see you, my dude. But it was a shame to see the coast eroding. just to take the downside of my other Happy Wednesday thing. Guys, just to remind you, we are running the draw again today. So nobody has entered yet that I can see here. Let me just test it for me, will you? !win. And let me just see that it's actually working. Because we will be doing a draw. Somebody will be winning a PC game, whether you're in. Thank you, my friend. Yes, straight in there, Adam, and that's popped up on the screen, so that's cool. It's working. Get them in, fellas. Get them in. And we've still got Horizon Zero Dawn. I've left it there, even though others have won a copy. I intend to. It's still going to be the big one for now, but I'll probably update it soon with an even bigger one. Good on you guys. Talking of which, I haven't done a big public giveaway for a while, and I just, because I haven't seen a game that I thought, firstly, it's got to satisfy a few criteria, right? Firstly, it has to not be available on Game Pass, because if I'm going to give away a game that most people are going to get to play for free anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. So, there's a few out there at the moment. So I need a game that isn't going to be available on Game Pass, even if it is available for Xbox. It needs to be a game that a lot of people will want to own. And I haven't really seen anything. What do you think? What's coming up? There's some great games coming up, but I haven't seen anything this month. We've had Final Fantasy, we've done Diablo, we gave those away. There's a couple of other games coming up, but they're going to be coming out on Game Pass. What do you reckon, guys? Is there anything at all that you've seen that you think, yeah, that will be a great game? I'll tell you something else actually just came to mind that was a good news thing, which I think is quite interesting. I got an email this morning. It was about 7 in the morning. I had a horrible night's sleep, as is normal for me. So I was tossing and turning, and I had an email, and it was from this guy who, it was a lovely email. I mean, it went on forever. I don't know if it was written by ChatGPT. I suspect not, but it was really nice. He was basically somebody who's just started out on YouTube, who is a lifelong gamer, not a guy in his 20s, lifelong gamer, very passionate about gaming, has had a little bit of a boost to his channel by co-appearing on someone else's show, a quite popular YouTuber apparently, which was great because he hasn't got a huge amount of content, maybe half a dozen streams that he's done, mainly game streams, but a really exuberant character. I mean, really like going for it. And he asked me, he said, I really love what you do, I love your channel and your voice and all that stuff. And I just wondered if I can ever come on one of your shows. I thought, well, do you know what? That's so nicely written, bless him. So I got in touch and said, yeah, absolutely. We'll get you on a future Rock Players and see how it goes. So I've introduced him into the community and he's already been embraced. And we're going to line him up for a future show. So I think that's really cool. I'm all for giving people a leg up. That's the thing. Do you know, it's one of the main things I've loved doing with my channel is giving people an opportunity to maybe reach a slightly wider audience and build their skill and build their confidence, because it is, we're all the same. We've all started at the same place. Being in front of a camera, feeling self-conscious, stumbling over your thoughts, getting to a point where you can just put your brain on automatic and let the stuff come out, which I do all the time now. I got told off when I went for a walk on the seaside with my youngest. I said, I feel like I'm doing all the talking. She said, yeah, well, you do tend to ramble, Dad. I was like, oh, I can't help it. I feel the space. Oh dear, is this right? You put a restraining order on Bjorn. Why, what's he done? Oh no, it is a skill. It's a muscle memory thing. The more you do it, the easier it gets. It's as simple as that. And now, if somebody asks me a question on anything, I can usually take that and run with it for quite a while. But also, to be fair, I think like most things in life, if you're not naturally a talker or a social person or exuberant, and that's fine, because there's still room for people on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, Kick, whatever, who are just very knowledgeable about something, for example, like AI, it's a big thing at the moment, or who are very skilled at a certain thing. For example, they might be a great musician, and they want to teach you to play an instrument or talk about music or do reviews on songs. You know, it doesn't. I mean, everybody has an angle. I think you have to find the angle that works for you. I don't have one. I don't know what my angle is. I mean, I am definitely and seriously passionate about gaming. It's the thing I do more than anything else in the world. But I'm not a huge knowledge. I would say my knowledge is slightly above average. But there are people who are incredibly knowledgeable about gaming, or about certain genres of gaming, or about game development, or a platform, for example. And kudos to them. And that's the thing that they should focus on. I just try to be me and generally talk about stuff that I think might be interesting. You'd be good in a pub quiz. I have been good in pub quizzes, but what I find these days, Sam, is they've turned the dial up on the kinds of questions they ask, because I think it's too easy for somebody, if you've got a big pub quiz, and I've been to like huge ones with loads of people doing it, it's easy as anything to hold down the button on the side of your phone to invoke Siri and just shout out the question. So what they're saying is, how many people were on the Titanic? 1,200 people. 1,200. It's too easy. So they try and find questions that are kind of, left field, that aren't obvious, that may not even be obvious to Google. So I struggle these days at pub. But the old pub quiz I still enjoy pub. But like I've said, I know a little about a lot, and really, if you pull a good pub quiz team together, you kind of want to get someone who really, really knows their music or their pop music, or someone who really knows their movies, somebody that's massively into sport, so that you've kind of got a really good mix on the table. And I don't specialize in anything, so I'll know a lot, but I mean a little bit, sorry about a lot, but that isn't what you want in a pub quiz. You want somebody who's you've essentially got the chance to have 6 experts around the table, and every time a question comes up, right, this is your bag, go for it. With me, that's no good. I'm useless. I'm good at doing them. I can compare them. I could do that. Pint of beer, but I don't drink. So what's a pub quiz? It's a thing that happens in the UK, Adam. I'm sure you do have them in the States, but you'll call them something else. It's essentially you get teams around a table in a bar, in a pub. Half a dozen, maybe less, up to you. Everybody puts forward the name of their team, so you come up with silly names for the team. And then you usually get given a sheet. It'll be 1 to 30, and there'll be a line and maybe some pictures and stuff. And then the pub quiz person, the compere, the MC, will do a question. How many hit albums did Michael Jackson have that got to number 1 in Japan, for example? And then you've got, put your question, your answer down there. It's a bit like bingo, but with bingo, of course, there's no questions. You just get a number and you have to match the number. But if you imagine a bingo setup, but with questions, and then at the end of the questions, you usually swap your sheet with the next table so that you can mark them, and then the compere reads out the answers. So obviously, because you're judging someone else's, you can't really cheat. And then you hand them back and it goes, right, anybody had over 40 answers? Yeah, great, here we go, take them in. And then they announce the winner, and the winner gets a prize. But you get really professional pub quiz teams. Guys, serious. I've been to corporate dues where they have a pub quiz, and there'll be like a university team, or there'll be a team of data analysts, and they'll be so on it that you've got no chance. Kirk, how are you, my friend? Great to see you, brother. Sounds like trivia night at the local bar. Exactly that. It's exactly that. But it's a prize thing, and some of the prizes can be pretty cool. One of the most poignant ones I ever went to was a guy, I've forgotten his name, I'm sorry, but a guy who sadly knew he was the guy that was doing the quiz, the question master. He he was in a really, really bad way. He was only about a fortnight away from the end of his life, right? And he could hardly see, and he knew that it was coming, but it was a pub quiz to raise money for a local blind school for kids, and he was determined to do it. And one or two of us knew that he literally was on his last legs, and I'm not kidding when I say it was one of the most emotional things for me, because I could see this guy putting in 100% and knowing that actually he knew this was probably the last time he'd be on his legs. That was really sad. And he did die a few weeks later. Do you know, I went to his funeral. I didn't really know him that well. Nick was his name. I won't say his last name. I didn't know him well, but I knew him. And he was a real character, real kind of posh-sounding fella, but he'd done a huge amount for charity. Went to his funeral. I have never been to... It was in a beautiful village with a little old church. The village was overrun with people. I have never seen so many people at somebody's funeral. Absolutely amazing. And I always say this, you know, the mark of how you have treated other people when you're alive is how many come to pay their respects when you're gone. And it was certainly true in his case, young Nick. I do remember his surname, but I'm not going to say it. Neil says, I never know what to drink in a pub now, off alcohol and sugary drinks. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? The wife always asks for a jug of water wherever we go. Not in a pub, although you could. And so water is a thing, I suppose. Fruit juice is usually full of sugar as well. Hey, Obi, I made it. What is up? Hope all is well. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you so much. I know who you're referring to. Do you? Shortish guy, glasses, old fella. Lovely, lovely guy. Yeah, he was well known in corporate circles locally. Sam, so I wouldn't be hugely surprised. A few years back now, but yeah, he was a sweetheart, and very, very poignant passing as well, I felt. Welcome again, Obi, says Sam. Guys, we've got the PC draw underway. Don't forget !win and gets you in the draw, and we'll do that just before the show closes. Managed to get everybody their prizes from the charity stream of the weekend, which was absolutely fantastic. So everybody who donated got themselves a brand new Outright Games game. And to put that into perspective, not one of those games retails for less than $40, and some people got them for a $5 donation. But that's what I wanted. The key thing was that people had put their money down to help children in the stream, and for that, Outright Games, you know, they put their money where their mouth was, and we managed to get everybody a game, which was fantastic. So happy about that. And the funny thing is, most people, out of all the people that won games, only 2 of them didn't ask for Peppa Pig, which is great. Anyone know when the Steam sale ends, says Sam. I will have a look for you. Shall we? We'll pull it up. Hang on. Steam sale. Actually, we'll make our way over to Simple Larry. Here we go. Here we are. 13th of July. 13th of July. Wow, that's soon. It's tomorrow. Eek. We'll pull it up anyway. I know Neil's correct because he never gets these things wrong. There you go. June 29th to July the 13th. That's 10 a.m. Pacific, Sam, which would be 6 p.m. UK, 1 p.m. Eastern. Oh, I'm getting good at this. So yeah, I reckon that's probably 8 p.m. in Sydney, Australia. I don't know. 6 p.m. in Paris. Wolock, Sean, great to see you, brother, and young Vet as well, my cozy friend Vet. How are you, dude? Oh, so good. Yes, Dinkum is calling to me from my wish list. How much are they selling Dinkum for? I mean, that was cheap anyway. That was never expensive. I'm going to have to get Dinkum and put it in the wheel, I think, because I do love that game. So here we go. I own it. So, but it said it was $11.99. But that's, how much is it normally then? $15.95. Everdream Valley. Oh, that's buy Dinkum plus Everdream Valley. So Everdream Valley being a different game, a separate game, I guess. Dinkum is such a corker. I love the fact that everybody seems to be playing Dinkum now. And the fact that it's just literally, I always say it, but I can never get over the fact that the developer was one guy, James Bendon, bless him. Just one dude pumping out this game, which is clearly making him a ton of money, and I think that's amazing. I also think because in the credits for the game, he goes to a great extent to credit the Aboriginal people of Australia. So I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't shared some of the revenue with some of those communities as well. And of course, you know, like a lot of the indigenous peoples, whether it be in the Americas or whether it be in Australia or other places, once they've been usurped by us Westerners, sadly, their cultures go to rack and ruin, don't they? And I know there's a huge alcoholic problem in Aboriginal Australia, as there is, I believe, in many Native American cultures as well. It's such a shame. Dinkum is a blast. It is a blast, mate, isn't it? It is. I don't hunt, though. I just explore and find animals. Yeah, no, that's a part of the game I'm not a huge fan of. I don't think you necessarily need to, do you? I'm trying to think. I know it depends on the vendor and what they ask you for, as to whether or not you need to go and collect stuff. I think there are a couple of them where you have to go and kill a big shark or a crocodile or an alligator or something. 1 second, guys. I'm just going to pull the screen over a bit. There you go. There you go. It's good, isn't it? Crystal, also, sorry, I missed that. Oh, look, it's Handsome Rock. Oh, bless you, Ant. Compared to you, my friend, ain't gonna happen, is it? You're a man of great beauty. I'm talking about Way of the Hunter. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah, no, I've got that one as well. I can't bring myself to do that. I know hunting is it's a massive cultural thing in the States, because it wasn't that long ago, of course, where, pioneer spirit, and you lived by eating what you caught, and a lot of that in terms of English culture, that was knocked out of us when the Normans invaded in 1066, because the French stroke Vikings basically sliced all the land up for themselves and made it illegal instantly to hunt anything that was half decent, other than the odd rabbit, and even there they weren't always so happy about it. So yeah, it was interesting. I had to kill 2 badgers and a deer to unlock 2 more maps. Yeah, that's not good, mate, is it? Killing animals and stuff for fun. How are you, Ant? Hope you're well, my friend. Oh, here we go. Crystal ate a dog when I watched her playing. Wilson was horrified. Oh, in Dinkum. Yes, you can do things like that. You can cook things. You can cook dogs and stuff. It's a known thing. Dinkum people do that. Absolutely. Yeah, there are still some great deals to be had, aren't there? I struggle these days to find games that I haven't already got, or that let me go back to the home page, or that I want, in truth, or that aren't on Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. Thanks, Rock. I'm doing well, one day at a time. Good man. Good man. I saw, after watching your I Was Abducted by an Alien video, I saw one today which I didn't get the time to watch, but it's along the lines of, would you walk out of a shop having not paid for something and you were in your car? So I'm hoping that didn't happen to you, and I'm hoping the end message is, I accidentally walked out of Target with a tin of Red Bull, but having realised it, I've turned the car back and I'm going back to pay for it, because you need to do that, don't you? Yeah, we've all done it. All of us have accidentally, particularly these days, if you go to a supermarket in the UK, I'm not so sure about in other countries. In fact, the ones that I've been to in the States, you still have the lady at the checkout, right, or the man. But in the UK now, they're moving to sort of checkout-less bays. So you basically go and zap the produce with your little barcode reader thing, and you can also use your app as well, which is great. and it tots up all of your bag, and you go to a little computer, and you dip like this, you see, and it goes, oh yep, £90, and then you go, yeah, I want to pay by phone or card or whatever, and you put your phone up against the thing and you walk out. And I'm guessing it's, to an extent, it's kind of working off the basis that they're going to trust you. But I mean, a lot of people could sneak a pie in underneath or something. I don't know how it works. But there must be times when people get to the car and think, oh, flip it, I forgot to zap. Because I did it on a couple of pints of milk, semi-skimmed. But before I got to the machine where you pay, I realised, and I zapped them in, because I couldn't sleep with myself. Theft is theft. You know what I mean? You didn't know you can buy air. Oh, ran back to the till with this can of compressed air. Probably for your keyboard, was it, Sam? Blowing the dust and particles out of your keyboard, or your drive on your PlayStation, maybe? I know I've bought them in the past for that very purpose. You can buy compressed air. Yep, you can indeed. And if this government could privatise oxygen, trust me, they would. They've done it a long time ago. So what else have they got in the old sale? Because I'm thinking to myself now, Sam, that you've raised this. 20% off a Steam Deck. That's not bad if that's up your boulevard. They're talking about my video. Oh, are they? Oh, there was a compressed can of air. Ah. Probably for the same purpose though, right? For your controller? And did you go back and pay for it, or is that giving away the video and we don't want spoilers? We need to go and watch Cowboy's video for that. Did he pay for his compressed air? Need to find out, don't we? We need to check it out. I haven't seen the video. My guess is that he's too upstanding a man. He's a Christian, he not so much a practicing one these days, but he's definitely a man of faith. I don't think that it would sit well with Ant if he hadn't gone back and paid for that can of air. I think, if he does a deal in the shop, that's fine. But if he wouldn't walk away without paying for it. I'm going to watch the video later, but that's my guess. Cowboy got arrested. And there's police helicopter camera footage of him. Oh no. You see, you could see a can of compressed air as a weapon as well, couldn't you? Because you could. I mean, it could go bang and hurt people under the right circumstances, I guess. Like any kind of weapon. If you put it in a fire, if you had a skip fire and you threw in a can of compressed air, that's going to go off. It's going to go off with a bang. Uh-oh, Neil's showing us the emojis here for the police, the constabulary and their lighting going off. Dodgy stuff, mate. Dodgy stuff. Don't forget, we've still got 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes to get yourselves in there with an exclamation mark win. All you have to be is a subscriber. Oh, thank you. Oh, bless him. He's lovely, isn't he? He loves me. I love you too, my dude. Absolutely, I do. You know it. Thank you. Exclamation mark win. Raven anime. Oh, you my man. 6 minutes left. In 6 minutes' time, somebody is going to be the proud owner of a brand new game. Can't say very much. Thank you, singing lady. Cyberpunk 50% off. Actually, there's a big update coming soon for Cyberpunk. So that's probably, if you haven't got it, it's a good time now to invest. Monster Hunter Rise, they've got a new game coming up soon, haven't they? 14 at $17.50. What else? Oh, Spider-Man Remastered. Look at that, 33% off for the PC. Outlast. I can't do Outlast. I mean, there are very few games that scare me. Outlast the original was one of them. Dead Space, I finished. No, I didn't finish Dead Space Remastered because I thought it was the same game. There was hardly any difference. So, Red Dead Redemption 2. Lovely game. If you don't have RDR2, you've got to have that in your collection. No questions asked. Some big ones here. Elden Ring. There's a new Elden Ring coming out, isn't there? GTA 5 is now available to play for free on Game Pass. So, And you can play it on the cloud. xCloud. I know. Dave the Diver, £15. Now, this is worth a quick look. Dave the Diver has set Steam on fire. This game is getting everybody talking. It's like a little 8-bit thing under the sea, but it's full of surprises and little mini games and stuff. And I've got to be honest, I've actually quite fancied buying this myself. I'm not a lover of the 8-bit genre, but I watched somebody do a review. It may be an IGN or Verge, I forget who it was. And they basically said it's like one of their GOTYs of the year. And it's absolutely amazing, Dave the Diver. So it's not a huge discount. It's only 10%. Maybe worth hanging out for a bit more. Look at that, 1 million! As our game passes its 10th day since the official release, we're thrilled to have reached 1 million users. Well, you've got to buy it to play it, haven't you? So that must mean they've sold somewhere in the region of £16 million worth of game. That's awesome. Now, genuinely, it's supposed to be really, really good. Really, really, really good. RDR2 isn't on GFN. No, I know, mate. I know. I don't know why. Well, yeah, we do know why. Because they weren't particularly up with cloud at all, were they? I forget the name of the MD now, that owns the parent company, but he was kind of really disparaging of Stadia, and I think he kind of feels like it's a big nah. Big nah. Is it on Game Pass? Do you know, I don't know whether it's on... Let's have a quick look. Game Pass. It's Xbox, innit? It's your Xbox, innit? Let's have a quick look, and then we'll have a look at happy news of the day. Right, so let's put in Redemption. Oh, it went straight to R. Redemption. No, Ghost Song, so it's not on... Let's just do Red Dead. It's not here. What about PlayStation Plus? I've just got a feeling it's on one of them. Yeah, you know what? What am I doing? I should be doing the obvious, going to my favourite little site that tells you, our cloud base, and it tells you where it lives. I mean, almost certainly on Boosteroid. Yeah, Boosteroid, Shadow, and... Oh, did I tell you about to become a partner with Shadow? They're hooking me up with a whole Shadow PC thing. Just waiting on them to give me the access. So I will be trying that out, doing some videos on that, some gaming on there, and bits and pieces. So look out for that. Quite excited. Plus might have Red Dead. I thought it did, Kirk. But according to this site, by the way, this is cloudbase.gg, and this guy's just become a GeForce Now ambassador, because I've seen him in the Discord. But this site is great for finding games that aren't on cloud. It doesn't mean, as Kirk says, doesn't mean it's not on Plus. It just means that it ain't on cloud, which is really what you're thinking of, Neil, isn't it? I wonder if Dave the Diver is. Are you there, Dave? Where's Dave? This guy maintains... No. So I always think when it says Shadow, it's kind of irrelevant. You've still got to install it. It's just it's a PC in the cloud, isn't it? Rokk, as if you didn't use Cloud Dosage. I do use Cloud Dosage. What are you telling me? What have I done? What have I said about Cloud Dosage? I've missed something here. Red Dead Online is a split-off thing. Yeah, that's right. Kurt's right. There is Red Dead Online, but it's... yeah, I think the problem... I know that there are people that mod the hell out of it, and that's upset some people. But you know me, I'm not much of a... I'm not... Yeah, Vet as well. Vet and I are both on the same partnership plan. You know me, I'm not much of a co-op multiplayer type of dude. It's just, I don't really do it. Game search on cloud. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They do have that as well, don't they? Dibby. I do use Cloud Dosage a lot. I'm big friends with Moz and Jack D. I always forget they have that. I'm sorry, mate. Where is it again? Stop count. Community news, no. Yeah, the thing is, I tend to use Cloud Dosage on Thursdays when we do when we do cloud gaming news in the main. Where is it? Community cloud gaming editorials, community events. I can't find it, mate. Cloud gaming reviews, cloud stat lists. It's got to be that, hasn't it? No. Every game from Stadia. Ooh, might want to update that, fellas. I can't find it, brother. If I could find it, I would use it. I was checking them out. Sorry, Kirk. I was checking them out, but reached out to you instead. Oh, Cloud Dosage. No, they're great guys. Absolutely. Lovely fellas. I tell you what, Kirk, they're always looking for people to do game reviews and that kind of thing. So definitely get your name in. I can put a word in. Kirk, by the way, is the person I mentioned to you earlier. He's going to be coming on Rokk Players, who sent me that lovely email this morning. And he's going to be doing a Rokk Players. I'm not sure. I don't think you're doing it tomorrow, are you? I know you needed to look at your work schedule and stuff. But looking forward to getting Kirk on with Bjorn. I know Bjorn is certainly looking forward to it. So great to get somebody new who's not in our community as well. That's a really great thing. Starting to attract people from outside the community, which is brilliant. It's what I've always wanted. Bit more polish, your lot. Je ne sais quoi. Chef's kiss. Well, thank you, my friend. We're trying. It's a slow old build, ain't it? Hit me up on Discord and I'll pass on your details, says Eddie. Sorry, I keep pressing over here when you're already on screen. I'm a contributor with Cloud Dosage. They're good guys. Yes, Rock Show appearance. Well, the thing with Rock Show, Kirk, is that, and by the way, I'm not saying no. The show normally revolves around a regular permanent set of guests or co-hosts, band members, if you will. And sadly, we've just lost two of our stalwarts, one for medical reasons, well, both for medical reasons, if I'm honest. And although I'm sure there'll be writer's reign in time, it's going to be a few months. So at the moment, I'm in two minds about whether to have regular guests or to find two new permanent hosts. So you aren't written off at all. In fact, it's in the back of my mind, but I want to test you out on Players for a little while, see how you get on over there, and you may find that that's your home. Oh, he's aiming for tomorrow. That's awesome news. And maybe one day. I missed the first part of the message. Sorry, brother. I'm not above seasonal employment. Clever. Like it, my friend. Like it. Right. So, we're already 10 to 6 my time. Sorry. 10 to 1, of course, Eastern, 10 to 10 Pacific. Let's get this out there. We're going to go and have a quick look, as it's that time of the week, at some good news. We do have good news. This is my favourite little good news website, guys. You know, we come here every Wednesday, don't we? Have a little look. It's purely news that is deemed to be good. They don't do any news other than news that makes you smile. Let me just pull that in. There we go. We've got a smiley dude who I think looks a bit like Mr. Beast. Yeah, everyone just needs to get on and give it a go. Absolutely, anybody can come on Rokk Players. And even on the day, because Bjorn does put up a link, so if you want to come on Rokk Players and, try out this whole creation thing, a great way to start if you're looking to make it and break it is just to guest on other people's shows, because the pressure's not there. Somebody else is the host, so if you fumble your words or you can't think of something, it's their job to jump in and fill the void. So it's a brilliant way. It's how I started. I started with audio podcasts, as you guys may or may not know, or may not remember, and then converted them to a video format with my voice over the top. And then I went to guest on people like Winnie, who's a brilliant creator, Chase, who popped into Rock Show yesterday. They very kindly invited me on as a guest, and that's where you learn your chops. That's where you get the confidence up. I love guesting. Anybody that invites me to guest, I'm there, 100%. It's Lord Gaming Xbox. Hi, brother. Love you. I know you've got COVID-19. I am sorry to hear that. The good news with COVID-19, for most people, not everybody, is that it's kind of like a bad dose of the flu these days, and sometimes even a milder dose of the flu. We're sort of getting to a point where the really nasty vid has watered down, but still some people do unfortunately struggle with it and have some nasty after effects. I'm hoping yours is very much the mild one, my friend. Nick DeVries may disagree with you, Dorrigan. Nick DeVries. Amazing, happy news. Daniel Ricciardo is back in Formula One. You've gone into sports, you see. Now, this is where I bow out. I know nothing about Formula One. As I suspected, for all you Brits as well, the police have said there's no criminal offence with this BBC presenter. The Sun, I hope the Sun gets sued from here to Sydney, Australia, where the owner lives, because it was clear from the outset that was a load of bilge, and it was designed to just stir up anger against the poor old Beeb. And I also hope that the guy, I have a very strong feeling about who it was. When I first assumed who it was, I did some little digging around, and indeed that's what seems to be. And I do hope that that individual sues the pants off them, quite honestly. Kirk the Gamer, ER is Eddie Rick on Discord. Right click on his name in the Discord channel and chat. And in fact, if you just go to the chat option on my channel, Rock Show Discord, just talk, and all these guys will talk to you. They're lovely on there, as they are on here. I leave Twitter. Bots, love you, mate. Yeah, get out of Twitter, brother. It's become septic. I think it will redeem itself. I think it's probably at its lowest point right now. But get yourself over to Threads. Do you know, I'm fast approaching 1,000 followers on Threads. Let's see where I am today. I'm very proud. I'm very proud of my followings. 817 followers. I'm so pleased. It's awesome. There may even be some here on the show if there are. Hello from Threads. Hope you're enjoying it. Right, listen. Good news. Let's get it out of the way. Here we go. 817, but it's on its way. It's on its way. Look at this. Look. This is Mr. Beast, but it isn't. Driver stops the train to rescue a frightened pug before a massive, tearful reunion with its owners. Oh, he does look a bit like Mr. Beast, though, doesn't he? And the pug looks more like me. Let's be honest here. A freight train driver took a break from his work in the locomotive to play the part of rescuer for a little lost pug, which had run away from her owners the night before. Poppy the pug had become frightened by a speeding car in Rutland, UK. And 60-year-old owners Dawn and Ian Bain had been out searching for her all night. Poor little Poppy. At 8:20 the next morning, Michael Jones was nearing Langham Crossing in his freight train when he described seeing a flash of red from Poppy's harness disappear into bushes near the level crossing. Wow. All of a sudden, I'm not going to do a Rutland accent, all of a sudden there was just this tiny little face looking back at me, Jones told the BBC. She was trembling and looking down at the ground. He stopped the train and leapt out of the cabin to collect the tiny dog, who was happy to see a friendly face. Inside I don't think the freight train could have been going very fast. I mean, it's probably just like literally shunting a couple of, coal wagons from one end of the thing to the other. Inside the locomotive, he called ahead to the next crossing at a town called Oakham that he had found a lost dog, and then turned his attention to feeding the little pug crumpets and water. Oh, bless. It gets better. At the same moment, Mrs. Bain arrived at the Oakham crossing to ask the employee if any dog had been reported on the track that morning. To which the worker in the box replied that not only had one been found, but that it was on its way to them. Oh, let's get to the bit where they cry. My heart, it didn't know whether to sing or stop, said Mrs. Bain, still in her 90 from the previous 12 hours of searching. Hello. In comes this train with this beautiful man on, with Poppy on his knee. I cried massively, and he cried. Poppy was totally unharmed from her ordeal and is recovering from the shock of it all at her home with companion Tinker. He's got a little friend called Tinker. It's lovely, isn't it? Oh. Dogs is man's best friend. Yeah, bless. Bless poor little Poppy and little Tinker. The little Tinker. Netherlands, that's the generic name, the proper name, the Nederlander for what we used to call Holland. Netherlands to return nearly 500 looted objects to Indonesia and Sri Lanka. Yeah, I mean, us Europeans, we have a bit of a rep for invading countries over the last few centuries, taking a lot of the old loot and keeping it. And the Brits are absolutely, we're in that place. We've got a load of stuff that really we should be giving back, like the Elgin marbles, for example. Police officers' free school inside Delhi's slum is helping kids escape life on the streets. That's nice. That's good, isn't it? Bless him. He's doing a little bit of he's doubling up as a teacher, which is that's a thing I'd love to do, actually. A Delhi police officer who managed to crawl his way out of the city slums as a child is now giving back to poor children who live the lifestyle of skipping school and working odd jobs, because a lot of these places, that as soon as the children can walk and talk, get out, earn me some money. With his free school, when class is in session in the parking lot of the famous Red Fort, Red Fort than sing, I don't know, helps kids who've missed school catch up to their age bracket so they can be at the same level as their peers. Born in Rajasthan's Bharatpur, Singh grew up with two siblings on the streets of New Delhi, where he would sell corn and his father would iron clothes. But despite this day-to-day existence, Singh never forgot the importance of school. Isn't that lovely? That's really great. There's these people all around the world that just do these selfless things to help other folk. 24 million miles ahead of Tesla, says autonomous semi-truck logs accident-free milestone on delivery routes. So this is something that's been trialling now for quite some time. You're seeing it more. I mean, this looks to me, if I was going to pick a country, that looks like... Actually, let me just read the damn thing, because it says down here, study in Australia. Tesla has been promising shareholders full autonomous driving for its cars for years. Yeah, still hasn't delivered it. Founded by a Chinese engineer who studied in Australia, to say that the Inceptio autonomous driving system is miles ahead is a bit of an understatement. He's a tech. This latest milestone underlines the safety and reliability of Inceptio's full stack. I remember seeing this idea of fully autonomous trucks, but like a caravan of these things. So they would all literally just drive within 3 inches of the back of the one in front, because they can. You know, this is an automated driving. So you just have like hundreds of trucks taking all these goods around. And I mean, you could technically have one guy in the cabin at the front, I suppose, with the rest of them like almost magnetized to the rear of that truck. The only problem, of course, is that it works fine on autobahns and freeways in the States and even some of the big roads in Australia. But in smaller countries like England or the UK, where we do have motorways, but they're not very long before you kind of disperse off into A roads and stuff. And you probably cause a fair amount of congestion. But I could certainly see how they could be more cost effective. I mean, you should have railways. Railways were designed for this, and railways should be the most cost-effective way of getting goods around. But of course, they're in the UK anyway. They've been privatised, and it cost a fortune. Exactly. Imagine them down where we live, Sam. Does it work? No, well, indeed. I mean, I'm guessing if you could get any kind of form of transport modified to work in a particular environment, then it could be automated. Take care, Eddie. Always an absolute pleasure to have you, my friend. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be coming to the end soon anyway, guys. This ultra-white paint is cooling homes inside the poorest of India's slums. What's the difference between an ultra-white and a white paint, then? In India's Thar desert, hundreds of poor women are being given cans of solar reflecting white paint. Okay, why don't they just put shed loads of solar panels? Imagine if the Indian government donated solar panels and they put half a dozen on every property. I mean, the amount of free energy that it would derive, probably they could sell it back to the world and make a profit. I know there's talk of doing this in some of the northern African countries. And literally, I watched a video once where they showed a thing that was like a little dot in the Sahara. You know, when you zoomed out on Google Earth, it was like a little dot. But the amount of solar panels, there were so many solar panels that it would create enough energy to satisfy half the world. And it was like, why are we doing this? Well, we all know why, right? We all know why. Big oil. But that's good. Anything down that road's good. Finally rid of invasive shrubs. Scientists use lichen, you may pronounce it lichen, you're perfectly entitled to do that, to regrow the Celtic, you may say Celtic, you're perfectly entitled to say that, the Celtic rainforest in Loch Lomond, Scotland. That's nice. Finally rid of invasive shrubs. Probably again ones that have been introduced that aren't meant to be there. By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny breaks, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, the famous song goes. But in a better accent than that. But while the Loch Main be bonny, the hills around it were in trouble for decades. So they've rid... Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Trossachs National Park. I kind of have a feeling I've been there. We've got relatives in Scotland. Indian man quits tech job and becomes environmentalist and turns infamous dump into green oasis. I was thinking the other day, so many of the large tech companies these days have people of Indian origin as their chief execs or their chief operating officer or their chief technical officer. I wonder how many of them, once they make their pile, go back to India or you know, any origin, any of their country of origins, and invest in giving back to their community. I know I would. If I was a first generation Indian, for example, got a degree, gone to the States, maybe studied in Caltech or something, and managed to get myself a job in Silicon Valley and make a pile, I would absolutely go back to my home country and look to invest as much as possible in you know, getting the levels right, because that's half the battle, isn't it? Plant brought to the office 14 years ago has grown into a 600-foot monster. Come on, guys. Actually, I bet the oxygen, and I bet it's doing amazing stuff for the ions and the carbon dioxide in their office. Wow, this is in England as well. For Des and Ali Brennan of Protective Solutions Limited in England. I have a client called Protective Solutions. That's made me wonder. It hangs from computer monitors and even has its own sponsorship deal. What? Look at this thing. It's like a freaking grapevine. Wow. Love it. Right, I think we've just about covered enough good news today. Sam has a plant problem. You do love your plants, don't you? I know. Gaming and plants. That's how you've described yourself. Well, it's like a thing it's just like ivy, isn't it? It just grows anywhere. It's probably quite an invasive plant. We're going to do the wheel now. Going to give away a game. Let me just grab all of you. 14 of you have entered. That's brilliant. So we're going to add those names to the wheel already. It's good to see we've got Ewan in there and Kirk. Obi's joined. That's awesome. Sean Wolock, well done, my friend. Brilliant stuff. Right, I've copied them. So I'm now going to paste them into the names. And we'll give them a little shuffle. There we go. You're all in there. I'm going to give it a little shuffle just to make sure we get some randomness in there. And we're going to switch from here to the wheel. Da-da-da. There we go. Look at that. Oh, give this man a job. Let me grab the wheel and we will start with who is going to be. We've got 146 entries. One of you is going to win a game today. Let's spin it to see who's going to win it. That was a bit professional, that, wasn't it? Oh, look at old Kirk there with his getting in his quote, mice and men, of mice and men. It's a spinning. Is it my first win, says Dorrigan. Have you never won, my friend? It looks like it's going to be Raven Anime. It is. It's young Raven Anime. Woohoo! Who was here? It was definitely here. He was here earlier. So that's awesome. I'm just making a little note-et. How far were we from you, Dorrigan? Let's have a look up here. You may be in the big silver wedge. Oh, there you are. Look. You're down there. Oh, bless you, mate. Bless you. It's going to happen. I know it is. Right, Raven. Got your name down, my friend. Let's now do the... Hello, Crystal. Let's now get up the game that Raven Anime is going to win. I think it's up to date. I did clean it up the other day. Let me give it a little shuffle. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. There it goes. And we'll see what Raven Anime is going to win. Let's do this. Spinning around and around. Oh, hello. It's going to get to... Oh, is it going to go past Horizon? Oh, it just shot past. Fabia. I think it's going to be Fabia. Oh, Phobia. Sorry. Phobia. Phobia. Have you got a phobia? Like snakes or spiders or anything? I used to hate spiders. I don't anymore. My daughter has it though. She absolutely detests them. It doesn't bother me anymore, not really. I mean, I don't want one on my face, don't get me wrong. But I don't go, ah! And when we were in Florida recently, or down on the Keys, we went to a beautiful nature reserve, and I have not seen spiders as big as the ones hanging. So we're going through the forest, it's gorgeous, and we come to a little kind of opening where there's a lady there, and she's got all these like hawks and birds and cormorants and injured birds that she's been hand rearing, and all around their cages are these huge cobwebs like from Hogwarts Legacy, right, with the biggest freaking spiders the size of my hand just hanging there. My daughter freaked out. No, that's it, I'm out, I'm gone. She's running off screaming, and I'm just chattering away to this woman about this hawk, and how long has it been there? Oh, it's 15 years and stuff. And I thought, to be fair, if one of those huge things dropped from that net onto the back of my head, I would be Usain bolting past her. Oh, flip me, they were huge. Anyway, there we go. Raven Anime has one phobia, and I will be dolling the code out later, my friend. Have you seen the arachnophobia mode? Do you know, I don't know that I have. Funny you say that, Kirk. I was only thinking earlier, because in Grounded, of course, you can choose the arachnophobia mode, can't you? And it just shows kind of rough shape. And I was thinking, there's so many spiders in Hogwarts. They should have one. And it didn't bother me, to be fair. But my daughter's kind of stopped playing it. I have to say, I think I'm about... Actually, let me have a proper look. I reckon I am about 60 or 70 hours into Hogwarts. Because you remember I picked it up late. I only really started playing it last week. That game has earned itself a position in my top 10 games of all time. Up there with Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. There is so much in that game. it blows me away. Do you know, this is true. So last night, Mrs. Rokk and Littlest Rokk wanted to watch this film called The Outlaws. Now, I'd heard it was bad, right? Adam Sandler production. I'd heard it was bad. And I did say to them, I've heard it's quite rough. So anyway, I thought I'll sit here and I won't judge. I'll check it out. It was so bad. After about 15 minutes, I just said, anyway, I think I'm going to pop into the garage, play a bit of Hogwarts. Oh, it was rough. I think they watched the whole thing, but I would die. Anyway, this is the story. So I fired up Hogwarts and I took my little character into someone's house and there was a piano, right? So I thought, oh, it's got an X on it, so I can do something. I pressed the X and this beautiful piano piece, famous piece as well, started playing. So I thought, I'll just listen to this. It was lovely. It played the full piece and then another X. So I pressed the X again and then another piece, completely different, the full piece, a gorgeous piece of piano music, and then another X. And I did this. This went on for almost an hour of different piano pieces. Beautiful piano pieces. I just literally sat here with my headphones on like this, pressing X, and just loving the music. I thought, what a fantastic game this is. Absolutely amazing. You did the same, did you, Kirk? With the piano. Oh, just beautiful. I love piano anyway. But this was just wonderful. And I thought, wow, it's just, this game never stops giving. So I'm loving it, and I'm doing everything. I'm not kind of racing through. I'm doing all the sides and the beast stuff, and just think it's brilliant. But definitely will check out that arachnophobia mode. Thank you for that, Kirk. Give some roller skates. Yeah, brilliant. I will check it out because I might get my daughter back into it. So Rokk, here we go, is my good friend Ant. So Rokk, after beating, I know you beat it, Final Fantasy 16, I wanted to play, I wanted something more simple to play. So I'm getting a spaceship game. Which one are you getting, dude? Funny you should mention this, actually, because, let me go back to Simple Larry. Here we are. I sent back, as you know, I sent back Aliens Dark Descent. It was all right, just, you know. But I don't know what I've got coming up. We should have a little looky-poos. There you go. You're never going to guess my password, so that's not a problem. Let's have a look at my rental list and see. I've only got Grey Hill Incident, because everything else is yet to launch. Look, Immortals of Avium, which looks stunning, but that's not out until August. And then Vampire Masquerade on Switch, which isn't out until September. Skull and Bones. To be fair, I'll probably just go with Ubisoft Plus anyway, because there's going to be Mirage and Avatar and Star Wars and stuff. So I'll probably just go with the old Plus. Suicide Squad. But look at this, there's nothing. All I've got is freaking Grey Hill Incident. I am Dorrigan. It looks stunning, my friend. So come on, what can we... They don't do PC games because easy to rip, I guess. But they do PlayStation, Series X, and Switch. Now, I was watching... Let me get over to Boomerang Recommends. I was watching... Hezekiah and Josiah on Saturday, and they were playing a game which I thought looked amazing. It was like Pick'em or something. You know, I'm not much of a Switch knowledge, Nintendo knowledge. Pick'em or Pike'em or Raiden 3. What is Immortals of Avium? It looks great, my friend. So let me just check out Raiden 3. It's not on here. See, that's the thing these days. If there isn't... Pikmin, thank you, dude. If there isn't a physical DVD or cart, then they can't rent it. But it must be for you, because you're renting. One of those piano pieces in Hogwarts is Raindrop Prelude by Chopin. Yeah, Chopin's amazing. I love a bit of Chopin. Just recently, I've been reveling in. Do 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 do. Of course, one of my favourite films of all time, being the ever romantic that I am, is Somewhere in Time with Christopher Reeves, and there's an absolutely gorgeous piece of music in that. I'm pulling up Spotify. Just because I want to remember what it was called, and my brain's gone. I should be calling it a day anyway. We're quite late into the show, aren't we? Is William streaming today, guys? I should check, really. Oh, it don't matter. But yeah, love it. Love a bit of piano, I really do. So I don't know, what Raiden 3? Let's see. What was it on? PlayStation, I'm guessing, because you've got a PS5, haven't you? Raiden 3. Oh, see, this is the thing. Oh, yeah, no, this wouldn't be for me. This is an arcade job. You like your arcade stuff, though, don't you? Yeah, no, I wouldn't be up for this. Having said that, I've fired up Chorus again, because I want to finish that. That's great. What else have I got on the boil? Asterigos, is it called? Playing that again. Still battling through Hogwarts. I completed Dead Island 2, but I wouldn't mind finishing all of the side stuff. No live SPG, thank you. My rental service used to do PC games years ago, but since most PCs don't come with a disc drive, that's an interesting point, Anne. But you're right, though. Anything that's kind of digital download. So, what was it called, Dorrigan? Pikmin. Let's go back and have a little look and see. Let's go to Switch. Switch. Britney Switch. And let's put in Pikmin. Did you see old Britney got a slap to the face? She tapped some basketball player on the shoulder, and his bodyguard smacked her one till he realised who it was. She was only saying hello. What do we got? Pikmin. Oh, they got them all on here. What do you recommend? I didn't realise till I'm watching them. This looks so much fun. Well, they're Wii games. That's a 3DS. That's a Switch. So 3 and 4. Add it or rent it. What's the difference between that then? Take care, Obi. I gotta bounce, but Rokk, keep up the great work. And bro, one day I gotta get you on SF6. Yeah, but I can't be doing all the fighty stuff that you play. I can't. I mean, I have one. There was one famous time when I was invited in for a bit of Street Fighter, and I won, and I never play it. And they were like, "Yeah, but it's just because you mash everything." I thought, well, what else you got to do? Later, Obi Bighead. 3 is the latest. So 4 hasn't released yet. Thank you, dude. That's why it says add it. Okay, well, I'm going to add it, so that's a future one. And I'm going to rent it, unless anybody can recommend a better Switch game that I should be playing now. And I don't mean Breath of the Wild, because I still haven't got through the last one, Breath of the Wild. So I don't want to play the next one until, I'm going to whack it on my rental list anyway. I wonder how it's looking in terms of availability. That's the same as Grey Hill, so that's not much use. New releases on the old PS5. Let's see what we got here. See, Exo Primal looks okay. I played the beta, I wasn't overly impressed. But in any case, that's coming to Game Pass, so I'm not bothered about that. Valiant Star Sand, Moonrider, Goodbye World, Moonscars. A couple of new games come out yesterday or today on Game Pass, which I'm going to check out later. There's the this Grey Hill thing didn't look too bad. I mean, I think it's a bit of an indie job, but I didn't think, it does this. They download the graphics rather than show them. It's a bit annoying. Open image, a new tab. It's the best one off. Anyway, that looked okay. I thought I'd give it a go. I'll probably send it back the same day. Final Fantasy 16, but I'm just not. I don't know. There's Crash Team Rumble, but I'm, as you know, not much of a multi-co-op-y kind of dude. Such a dad joke. Only Switches I have are of the light variety. No. Straight to jail, mate. That's not even remotely funny. Go on, get out. Get out. Go on. I have at least 2 mugs saying I'm a great dad. Oh, yeah. But there's no disputing it, my friend. Everybody knows it. Look at you. You're bound to be a great dad. Come on then, guys. What do you reckon? You've got to give me a game. Pikmin? Definitely, you think? Take a look at that. What was the other one? Oh, yes. Adam, was it you, Rouster, that said, what is avium? Avium. Was it avium? Yeah, in Portals of Avium. Let's see if we've got a video trailer thing. Make sure the sound's off. Let's have a little butchers at this. I tell you what I'm looking forward to. It's coming out next week or the week after, the Oppenheimer with Kieran Murphy. That looks so good. And Napoleon looks stunning. EA Originals. I've heard good things about this from the early review previews that have happened. A lot of folk are saying it looks good. She looks like Lady Rachel, not Rachel. Oh crikey, what was she called in Suits? The boss. I've forgotten. Slurpee. Is a Slurpee like a slushie at 7-Eleven? FF16. I did. Oh, you say trust me, Dorrigan. I didn't get on with 15. But are you saying it's better? See, Ant beat it, but he was kind of 7 out of 10. But I mean, I should give it a go. I should put it on the list, shouldn't I? At the very least. You're right. I took it off the list, but as I've only got that, what probably will turn out to be quite a bad game, the Grey Hill incident, I probably should put it back on. In truth, let me pop it on the list. I think fair enough. Where does that put me on my list? They're all 6 days plus. So I've got nothing coming for a while. I was in 2 minds about putting my account on a holiday, because you can do that. You can like pause it for as long as you want, and then just play a few games that I've got kicking around and go back to it. I think I'll leave any of those 3. I'll be happy if they turned up. It looks good, but I'd love it to be third person. Which one's that, dude? I must stop pressing on this. Red food colour dye in a Slurpee is nearly permanent. Is it? Yeah, you guys. If I was an American, I would be reading the ingredients on everything, like doubling up. Because I do over here, and you know, I know we're leaving the EU and it's going to get pretty rough, but EU rules are very strict on what goes into food. Anyway, listen, you wunderbar people, I think I should let you get on with your days. So there's Raiden 3 that Ant's getting. That was, I see Dave. It's Dave on. Can I rent Dave? I'd rent Dave. Dave the Diver. I bet it's not. No, of course it's not. I'd love to play Dave. I'm going to buy Dave, but I'm going to wait for it to drop a little bit more, I think. And then I'm going to get young Dave out, because he looks fun to me. And anybody with a dad bod is all right in my book. Don't play Final Fantasy 16. It's super long, and I think you won't keep it that long. Get it only if you want to say you tried it. Dorrigan's telling me to trust him, Ant. Who should I trust more between you two? You see, I've got to say this, though, Dorrigan. Ant and I do, apart from that Raiden thing that he's renting, he and I do have kind of very similar game tastes. We do kind of rent the very similar stuff. But I'm going to rent it anyway, just to say I've tried it. I think that's fair. And in the meantime, I might just buy Dave the Diver. Bless him. Right, you lovely, wonderful human beings. I think it's time that my daughter's made a chili chicken on a bed of rice with some broccoli for dinner. Bless her, my youngest. So I ought to go and get stuck into a bit of that. I ought to let you guys get on with your day. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed it. I hope you do. Raven, you won, my friend. You've won a game called Phobia. Phobia. So I'll drop you the code very, very soon. Don't think I could do FF16 way too long on the story. Yeah, that's the thing. I bailed on 15, you see. I tell you why, I'll be completely honest. I'm not a lover of anime. I really have never been. And so once I get those kind of Japanesey, Americanesey, cheesy characters, I just feel, that's me. So it's nothing to do with the game. I just kind of can't get into it. But I'm going to give it a go. That's just age. It's just an age thing. You guys are youngsters. You've grown up with all of that stuff. That's just the way it goes. Yeah. I'll get your code over to you in a minute, my friend. But I must let these wonderful people go. So tomorrow, Cloud Gaming Day. So we'll be doing all the roundup of cloud gaming news. Rock players with our newfound friend, Kirk. So watch that. Give him some support. That should be a great show. I can't wait to see that one. Rock, thanks for sticking around a little bit longer, as you were going to get off a half hour. That's okay. I've toyed with doing the show a little later. But the thing is, like people like Adam Rouster, who has his lunch at midday, and there's some guys that kind of listen as they travel to work and stuff. So it's a bit more difficult. Now that William isn't streaming so much, then I may let the show just run on a little bit anyway. Just so that I know some of you that maybe have a later lunch or heading home, what have you. Perfect timing, as dinner is now ready for me. What are you having, Neil? Let me guess. There was a time when I could say cottage pie or liver and onions, and I would be on the money. But these days it's usually burger, pasta. And Rock, you will not like this game. I know, that's the only reason that I think I won't. Having said that, I enjoy Devil May Cry, which is kind of in that space. There are games that I have played and I've enjoyed them, but I've always found the Final Fantasies just a little bit, for the fans, and there are many of them. But I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a proper, impartial go for Dorrigan, because he's wanting me to give it a go. So I'm going to do that. I have no idea, but it smells good. Best way, my friend. Starts with the nose, makes its way to the brain, and then to the tummy. That's how I see it. Right, I'm out of here. I will see you tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic evening, and play fair. Take care. Put the work in, we got some work, man. I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all. I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through.